Welcome to the latest episode of Platform. Today, we're going to be speaking to Jacob Juul. Jacob is widely regarded as one of the most technical skaters from Europe. In fact, for the longest time, he was probably one of Denmark's most recognizable skaters. He has absolutely cleaned up more real street events and skate park competitions than I can even remember. In fact, he even won another real street event relatively recently, just a few years ago. He was one of the most well-known skaters from Europe for Remz for the better part of a decade, possibly even a decade, alongside Dominic Wagner and Nils Janssens. He went on tour with Chris Haffey and Franky Morales, and there's an edit online of them going around Europe and Venezuela as well, I think. And he pretty much held his own against what is considered to be two of the best skaters of all time. Jacob is known for being incredibly technical on handrails and ledges. His true spin topside game and full cab true spin topside game is just unbelievable. Since leaving Remz, he's kind of been floating about and nothing's really worked out. He was on USD for a while, for about, I want to say 5 years, possibly more. And he was putting out a lot of content, like regular skate promos, regular sections, but it just never seemed to go anywhere. And he never ended up getting a pro skate for either brand. At the end of last year, he was seen skating Trigger skates and he put out a promo for that brand, French brand, but it looks like he's skating Aeons again, so I think things haven't worked out with Trigger. But yeah, Jacob has been a mainstay of the European scene for a really long time. I understand he does a skate school and he took a bunch of kids to Venezuela, or he was over in Venezuela teaching kids. And I know he's done skate schools in various countries, so just want to talk to him about that. His video parts over the years. He had a really bad knee injury that he had to get surgery on around 2009, I think it was, and it put him out of skating for a year, and then he just came back absolutely swinging. So I'm not entirely sure what it was that caused that injury, so I'm going to talk to him about that as well. Basically, loads of things to check in on, see what he's been up to recently, what his plans for the future are, and yeah, just get to know Jacob a little better. In the meantime, cue the music.
The platform. The platform. The platform. The platform.
How are you?
Hey, I'm fine, man. Thank you. How are you?
How was your holiday in Croatia?
It was amazing. A long drive from Denmark, but weather amazing, and yeah, good place to go vacation when you have 1 week off.
How long does it take to drive there?
It took us 2 days.
Oh,
I go with my girlfriend, and she also drives, so we share the driving, But we had a couple of spots on the way. We went to Prague to visit my friend Yara, see his bar, and we went to my friend in Austria. He lived with his girlfriend. They own a hotel, so we slept there for a night, and then we went directly to Croatia after.
Yara Mystery.
Yeah, exactly.
So he like runs a bar or owns a bar, or
He runs a bar and have a new one with restaurant.
okay,
Starting with restaurant, so expanding.
nice. All right.
Yes.
Yeah, I was about to ask because I'd seen recently that you were skating. Were you skating Aeons again in recent clips that I saw on Instagram?
Yeah. I skate my old Aeons. I skate the 80 millimeters.
But you're
I do it for skating. Like I use it a lot for my work.
right.
To pass around, and it's a good skate,
But are you skating for Trigger? Because you're wearing a Trigger tee.
Trigger also, yes.
Right. So how does that work?
I'm waiting for the new Trigger coming out, the Jeff Dalnas skate. It's coming out. It was supposed to come out here in July, but I think they're waiting for like shipments.
Yeah, I
I'm
saw
wearing
the.
I'm big feet are 45, so like the prototypes or the testing models, they're always smaller sizes. So I'm waiting for the regular skate coming out.
45. What's that in like UK or US size?
11,
Ah, right, okay.
10, 11, yeah, big feet.
Right. Yeah, just because when I saw you put those, because obviously I saw that you made a trigger promo at the end of last year, but then when I saw that you'd been skating on Aeons again, I was like, oh no, is that falling apart as well? Right, okay. So that's fair
No,
enough.
no, no, not at all. I'm just waiting for the skate, and it's been like I think I waited like 3 months or something.
Right.
Yeah,
So I'm guessing you've destroyed your other pairs of skates then.
yeah, yeah.
Right. That makes sense.
I
Um,
destroy my skates really fast, man. The only skates I like keep on skating is the Aeon. I just bought new liners for it and wheels for it.
well, yeah, they're pretty sturdy. So how long have you
Important for
been?
me to have skates. So it's important for me to have skates on that works all the time because it's my job. So I skate every day. So it's important to have something that works all the time.
Yeah, because you're still running a skate school, is that right?
Yes, 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 of course.
Right. We'll get. I've got a lot of questions about that, but we'll get onto that in a minute. So, how long have you been riding for Trigger?
Oh, I have to watch out. After I finished with USD, it was already before I finished skating from USD. Trigger actually sent me a pair of skates because I'm friends with the guys. They're from France and Paris, and I traveled a lot in France when I was a bit younger, like traveling from competition to competition. And
Yeah.
I think it was like, I don't know, I'm afraid like 2016, 2017. I think I traveled a lot, doing 1 month at a time in France, and got meet a lot of guys there. And I think they like my skating as well because the owner of Trigger, he sent me one pair of skates. Like I think that's like 5 years ago. He sent me right when they started, just for me to test it. So I knew that they already were interested. So when I finished for USD, I was talking with these guys, and they sent me a pair again.
Okay, so they basically tried to poach you from USD because if they've sent you skates before and then they're sending you skates again, they must have really wanted you on. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, true, true. So I've been skating them for like 1.5, 2 years, I think now.
Right.
Now with a break because they cannot send me new skates, and the ones I had was destroyed.
Yeah, that's one of the drawbacks if it's it's not like a really small company, but like yeah, in comparison to obviously Power Slide or something like that.
I enjoyed a lot, even if I have some complications with the skate. I like to support something like growing up, and like to have a meaning with the sponsorships also. And the other part of it is that I like his concept a lot by like putting like brands together or like sports together, that he's supporting scooter and he's skateboarding and roller skating as well, coming into one brand together. It makes the point of like focusing on new generation and how we're gonna like develop this skate community together, instead of like always stepping apart from each other.
It is, yeah, it's quite strange, like because obviously Power Slide do a similar thing, like they make products for like various sports, and so do like Sunshine, like razors.
Yeah, I know, but these comes into one brand,
Yeah,
so you don't see differently. You say Trigger, you say skating, skateboarding, and scooter, and that's what I
yeah.
like a lot. That's what I'm working on every year, to like get all these sports closer to each other. Get friends. If you have wheels under your feet, you should be supporting each other.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised more brands don't do that, because you would think, and
Me
even
too.
just from a business perspective, it makes more sense, because if you have all three sports in one brand, and
Yeah.
one sport starts to struggle, the other two, if they're doing well, can support the one that's not doing so well. Like right now, like rollerblading.
Exactly. When I was sponsored by Skate Pro, that was the whole point. Like the rollerbladers didn't have the money for the tours and stuff. So all the sales from scooter was going into like paying tours for like the team of rollers, you know. So
Okay.
in that
So
case, they are supporting each other, you know.
yeah. So you're not riding for Skate Pro anymore. I thought you still skated for
I'm not
them.
writing for a lot of things because my mind is a different place now.
Okay.
Like I'm busy with my skate school. I'm busy with giving my passion to the kids, you know, and to try to support like the new generation, you know, and in the end, I don't have time for like putting up these pro videos all the time and working for that hardcore, you know. It's like something on the side.
You say that, but you still put out videos fairly regularly. In fact, you put out videos more than a lot of skaters in Europe. And and
Those videos are straight up jokes, you know. It's just when we are out skating or like we do a lot of skating through the town, and like I have a friend that's also instructor with me, and like we found a lot of like happiness or joy in like just going skating from A to B, like when we are off, you know, meeting up in the city and skating around, watch like parties and the like, especially in Corona times, a lot of party outside on the streets, you know. So it's like just using your skates more for joy than like taking them with you in a backpack and going to a spot and killing that spot and going to the next one, you know. It's like we skating around the city and finding some spots, and we skating there for a little bit, you know, not anything serious. It becomes a little bit serious because we still have the skills, you know. So it's like, but it's a lot about more joy of it, you know, not so
okay.
much to like meet each other and go for like a session plan, you know, like what it was before, you know.
Yeah.
When I was
Um,
younger.
am I right in thinking, do you live in Copenhagen? Is that right?
Yeah, in
Yeah.
Copenhagen.
I knew it was in Denmark. I just wasn't sure if it was like you lived either in Copenhagen or just outside or nearby or
I grew up outside Copenhagen, but from I was 15, 16, I live in Copenhagen. And
right.
I've been traveling a lot, as you guys know, but ending up always back here.
Yeah, you have been everywhere. I'm going to ask you about that later as well. But I'm kind of surprised like brands wouldn't want to get involved in the skate school because, you know, if you're teaching kids or whatever how to skate, then for a skate brand, it's like the ideal kind of advertising because little kids that don't know anything about the sport, if the brand advertises with your skate school, then that's the first thing the kid learns. The first thing they
Yeah.
learn is that company, and that will just be like stuck in their mind.
Exactly. It's like for me, every time I get to sell a pair of skates for kids or because we are in contact with the distributors, you know, so we are buying in products and we are selling them to the kids in the skate school, you know, to also get some payments through this, but I enjoy every time I am able to get a pair of aggressive skates on a kid, you know, especially when you see him. Like we just had yesterday, this kid had skated with us all week for a workshop in a small city outside Copenhagen, and he learned everything. Backside stall, frontside stall, everything was coming so easy for him. And then the parents come and actually buy the skates that he was borrowing the whole week, you know. So it's like big smile on your face. That, yes, this guy is taking the next step, you know, into our community, you know.
Yeah.
I think that's the whole point of what I'm trying to do to give back to the sport is to like make more skaters, you know, because they will buy more skates, and in this end we will have more support in the community, because it's all about having more people on skates, you know, and having parents to buy them new skates instead of new scooter, you know. The parents are spending so much money on the gear, you know, so it's about pointing them in the right direction, you know, instead of spending all their money on buying 2-3 different scooters, and the kid is like not happy with this, you know, but coming in and telling the parents like which quality and which thing is good to buy for them and what makes them happy, you know. And then,
Yeah. Nice. Right. So I want to go back to like when I first started seeing you skating, and that was when it felt like you were going to every real street competition in Europe and just absolutely killing it and either winning or getting the top three, just doing insane true spins and stuff onto grinds. Like for a while, you were like one of the most like well-known skaters from Denmark. Now, obviously, now it's got a huge scene and it's got a really popular scene because lots of people have moved there. Like two of my friends live there, Scott Quinn and Dominic Bruce from Scotland.
Yeah.
And obviously David Sizemore made Fifth Floor, which, you know, put a lot of attention on the Copenhagen scene. But before you, like there was very few skaters I could even name that were from Denmark. Like Rene Hulgreen's Danish, isn't he?
Hulgreen is Danish, yeah.
Is where was Tom Ahlqvist from?
Tom Ahlqvist is Danish, yes.
Yeah. Like, so, like, I think that's pretty much all I could name.
Yeah, I think the biggest skater after me right now is Felix Falling. If you meet this guy, if you see
Okay.
him,
Not entirely familiar with
I
him,
think
no.
he was like first or second in the winter class in junior.
Ah, right, okay. But yeah, like, so I guess what I was going to ask it, like, where did the motivation come from? Because you obviously tried really hard to just not stay in Denmark and like travel as much as possible because you were everywhere.
It was totally my dream. From when I was like 12, 13, it was like, I remember in the small city I grew up, I was like growing up in two cities because my parents were separated. So I started skating in the city where I live with my mom, skating the streets, and then like my dad shows me skate park in his city, and I just started skating. I remember like the station they had the daily bread in the like small shop, you know, where you buy soda or candy, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
They had daily bread, and I was even like saving the money just to buy this fucking magazine and like watching it, you know, and becoming like, oh, this is what I want to do, you know, I want to be one of these guys, you know, and that kept me motivated, you know, and especially when you turn like 15, 16, and it becomes like you're hanging out with your like your friends, and they're making trouble, they're making like stealing whatever, you know, making bad like
Choices, yeah.
choices in life, you know, in a young age, you know, you like stick with rollerblading and stick with like going every time to meet my father in the other city, you know, and just skate every time, you know, I got to it, you know. I like in the beginning it was like a small crew I was with there, but everybody vanished, you know, from the skating, and I was more interested in moving to Copenhagen, and I moved there with my dad because the scene was a little bit bigger, you know. It was all about going where other people were skating, you know.
So was there a big scene? Like obviously I'm familiar with the Copenhagen scene from like Jonas Hansen and people like Carl Lindberg and like all those guys, but was there a big scene growing up, and were there other people that were motivated like you and were like wanting to travel and wanting to go to contests and like make a name for themselves?
I always moved, you know, so I was first in my local scene with my friend from school when I started skating. Then I moved Copenhagen. I make a group of friends there, and we skate a lot, you know. But then again, ages change, you know. Then you become 17, 18, you know, and again it's party, it's like everything, you know, and a lot of people falling off there. But I think it was my strain always to keep on skating, even if you go home from party really late, you know, it was still like waking up and going skate park and practicing, you know, even like getting active, you know, and sweat it all out, you know, and just keep doing it, you know, and that's even also what I'm trying to always give to the new generation or learn is like that if you want to be good at something, you need to practice it every day, you know, and that's for everything. And it's cool to even teach kids in this, if it's like you skating to teach them, they will develop like amazing in other classes in their school or whatever, because it's like all about like finding this idea of like, oh, if I practice this a lot, I'm actually gonna learn it and it's gonna be more fun, you know. And I see it a lot in the kids that I train, you know, the same as I went through. It's like practice and you will get somewhere with it, you know. And I got somewhere with it in a really young age, because as you told me, like when I was 15, 16, I started competing in all these like real street competition, and I actually won. I think I won my first one. It was 16 in Norway.
Okay.
Yeah, in Norway, in Oslo. And from there on, I was just like, went on, you know. I remember like my sponsor, Powerslide, at that time, they were like giving me one pair of skates, the Dishy skates, like one black one. And they were telling me that you get these skates, and they would like test me out to see if how much I'm gonna win, and how am I gonna do, you know, with this pair of skates. And I was winning or getting second place, you know, and almost everything I went to. So it was like, yes, here you get sponsorship.
You
I even
must have
had my
been,
I had
yeah,
my dad to sign the contract because I was too young at that time.
a contract.
Yeah,
What did the contract like say in it?
it was paying like, oh, I don't remember now right now how much, but it was like paying like monthly payment for the first 2 or 3 months that I was sponsored, and then they cut off the bullshit but on the inline. It
Right.
was like, I think it was right before the downfall, or how you
Okay.
call it with
Yeah.
inline skating.
Wow, skating Deshi back then, you must have been destroying skates really quickly because you must have been skating back then more than ever, and you were skating hard. And Deshi skates didn't last very well.
I think they were okay, you know. But again, it was power slide, so I was getting new stuff every time.
Right.
When they first see me, and when I first make these results, you know, it was on. And from there on, it had been on kind of until now, you know, when I put my focus away from being pro skater that much and putting my focus more on like teaching and doing this what I'm doing now, you know. But
Yeah.
but
So
from that, yeah.
were you just traveling to these other countries on your own, or was anyone
Yeah.
going with you?
No, I'm
Okay.
always going alone. I
That's
was like you, like we were talking. I was the only one back then, you know.
yeah.
There's like a gap between Rene Hulgreen and Tom Ahlqvist, and then there's like a long gap until me, and then there's a gap again because Felix Falling is like 18, 19, you know, and I'm 32. So there's
Right.
big gaps between the guys going high up in like going competitions and going for it like I did, you know, because how I talk with people down here, it's like they're not competitive skaters, or they just go there to make the videos and stuff, you know. And
Yeah.
I like the part of skating that way, but I'm always been a competitive person, so it was not always for me to do this style. It came all natural for me. It was like I never really thought about, okay, this trick have to look this certain way, or this have to look better, I have to do it again, you know. It's more like, it was more go for it, you know. I landed, yes,
Yeah.
I landed. It's like, I think that's my down part of my skills in skating. I could be like, I think I talk sometimes with some people, and they say, you should go and like do the same trick like all day, you know, to get the right angle, the right style in the trick, you know. But it's not so much what I enjoy. I enjoy to go forward with it, you know.
Yeah, like if that doesn't motivate, yeah, you get some people that just want to make a trick look exactly the way they have in their head. And then you've got people
Yeah,
who just want to, make it as bigger or harder or more complicated as possible and like learn as much. And like if you don't care about, making it look absolutely perfect and you just want to do the hardest stuff you can do and that's your motivation, that's
mm.
fine. Like rollerblading
Yeah,
can be whatever you want it to be. That's the beauty of it.
exactly. I've been like so many times like doing some tricks where I landed and I'm like, after what just happened, you know? This was crazy, you know, like. And I think that's the cool thing about it, you know. Sometimes that you, even like in competitions, you know, when you push yourself that hard and like the other guy next to you comes and do like even harder trick, you are like, oh my God, I have to like pull it off, you know, and you end up doing something. And even when after some of the real streets, man, when you fall hard, you like next day you can almost not walk, you know.
Yeah.
But you remember like back last evening I was doing like 450 some crazy disasters or something, you know, and you don't even believe it because you're walking around like so hurt, you know. But that's the
Yeah.
adrenaline, you know. That's what we all do it for, I guess. And then, you know,
There's got to be times after those events where you think back on it, because obviously in the time, like you said, like adrenaline's going and you're all excited and like you said, you're very competitive, so you're like hungry to try and win it. And then you must look back sometimes and just go, can't believe I tried that trick on that spot. I could have died. Like,
yeah,
because I've seen some footage of you just absolutely hucking yourself at things. And I ended up watching some of your sections again last night. And there's a real street event from not that long ago, and it's a curved drop rail with no run up. And you did full cab back salve down it, then full cab true top Zyal down it. And
Yeah,
it had a decent drop on the other side. And you
that
laced,
was in Stockholm, I think.
yeah, you laced both of those perfect, but you could have easily, because the run up was so small, you could have misjudged it really quickly and just dropped from the top.
Yeah, but that's again, I hear a lot of people was like always telling me, aren't you afraid, or going skating with people that like talks loud to you like, oh, this can go wrong, and if you already there in your mind,
Yeah.
I wouldn't even try it once, but if you're there where you're like, yes, I can do it, and if you get adrenaline as well, and if you have somebody like doing some tricks that is like almost in that level, or like just doing something, it's like about skating with people, and like, oh, he did that, okay, I can do something as well,
So it's
and I
just,
think
yeah, just believing in yourself, basically.
exactly. And I like how we always also was talking, like there's not so many good or big skaters coming out from here. I think my point of it was also that, like, how people always told me that I've been good and like skating with people, even if their level is much lower than mine, or like they're not as good, but I still always find it good to challenge the people I'm skating with, even if the level is not the same, it's like, okay, he did a soul grind down the rail, I'm gonna do a hurricane top soul, and stuff, and it's gonna be in the same like level for us, because we are different places in
Yeah.
our skills, so
Going to like all these different places and traveling quite young, doing it on your own, was it quite like lonely, or did you end up like making good friends with other people who were also doing the same thing? Like how did that work?
yeah, I mean, like both, because it was lonely to coming back home, because it's like in that age you have a lot of friends, that's your main point of life, I guess, you have like your groups, hanging out with, and if you're traveling for 1 month, 2 months, and you're coming back in the summer, like you're missing out on your friends at home, like your classmates or whatever, because you were going traveling all the time. But again, it's like how we all skaters talking about the international network and like meeting
Yeah.
people everywhere. It's like, that's an experience that you can buy, so it's like, it was for me to like, again, follow my dream that I wanted to do, to be like the skaters in Daily Bread, or be like I think my first real skate movies that I bought from skate, or I think it was from Grindhouse. I bought some skate movies. It was like Words and No I, and I was watching these movies, and it was like, I wanna be these
Words was
guys.
one of your first skate videos. Wow. Okay. Because
I had
that's,
some like VH like older skate movies, but these ones are the ones that I picked myself, kind of like,
yeah.
this one I want to order, and for my own money.
If Words is one of your first skate videos, though, that's setting quite a ridiculous standard for what you just think rollerblading is, because you're like, oh, that's okay, that's what we're meant to be doing.
Yeah. No, but I go from 13, 14, I buy these movies, and age of 17, I'm already on Remz, and he invite me to America and give me the chance to sit next to Chris Farmer and Chris Haffey and like Franky Morales and all these like racer pro skater, Brian Aragon, and being like, now you're a part of this, and I was sitting there, oh my God, what is this,
Yeah.
even believing that back then it was also a lot of like talking back and forth, and I was like, there being 17, like, I'm a part of this now. Is this the step I'm gonna take, and I was like picking the skate community,
So you must have been skating for many years before you saw a skate video then, because you said Words, but you must have been skating for at least 5 or 10 years before that.
Yeah,
Right. Okay.
I started skating in 2000.
Yeah. Oh, right. No. So, okay. So
Like I said, I see a couple of like VG movies as well, but
right.
But yeah, in the beginning, I was asking my friends. I meet in Copenhagen, like what to buy, you know, like where to go and buy skates, like where to go and buy all these videos, because I knew nothing, you know.
Yeah.
I got a pair of skates from my aunt, and then my dad, he bought me a like semi-aggressive skates from like some sports shop, you know, and then I was doing skating like with this, you know, till I actually find community, you know.
Okay. So see, in all your like traveling to go to like all the real street events and like other competitions and stuff when you were a teenager, did you end up becoming like really good friends with like any particular skaters or people that you'd be like, oh, are you going to this next event? And they'd be like, yeah, like let's meet up, or like, do you want to share a hotel room? Or were there like anyone in particular that you became like really close with?
Yeah, like during the years, I've had different friends, you know, or different guys, you know. But I think you always grow grow apart, or like move on, you know, because you're living far from each other, you know.
Yeah.
I remember last guy, I was like, as I told you, I was traveling a lot in France. I became really good friends with a guy called Kevin Perchal,
Okay.
like unknown skater, you know. But he was coming to Copenhagen one time, and I meet up with him, and we connect a lot, you know. And I think we were friends for like 2 years, you know. And then again, doing other things in life, you know.
Yeah.
But I was traveling like back then. I was traveling a lot with Dominic Wagner.
Yeah.
We were together, like both on Ignition Skate Shop and on Remz, you know. Yeah, we were traveling a lot.
How did you end up getting on Remz if you were on Deshi before?
It was my own decision, but I was like in Copenhagen. Tom Ahlqvist was friends with Kato from back, and they came to like I don't know, they were on tour or something, and they were in Copenhagen, and Chris Haffey and Franky was skating the local skate park. And I was like, I remember I went off school and like went to the skate park and hang out with these guys, you know. And I'm just a little kid, you know, trying to like impress. So I was skating around like a lot, you know. And then they go to Sweden, to Malmö, right next to Copenhagen,
right,
for one day. And we were there in the indoor skate park, and I'm sitting there talking to Kato, and he shows me this. That was right when the Remz Franky Morales Pro Skate came out, the one that was like golden screws and stuff, like totally black. I think it was like the first open shell Remz.
So you weren't skating Remz before then, but I'm sure I've seen you skating the Haffeys.
No, I skated the old model Remz, like as my third aggressive skate, the one that was like black and gray, like before they had the UFS system and stuff.
Right.
But I was there sitting in Malmö in Bryggeriet, it's called like skate park, and I was like talking to Kato, and he was like, yeah, you like the skate, you like what you're looking at? And I was like, yeah, I'm like, it looks so cool. It was like gangster looking, you know, the skate. And I was like, yeah, if you want, I can send you a pair, you know. And I was already there. I don't even know what to say, because I was on USD or like Dishy right there, you know. But young age, I was just like, yeah, let me try something new, you know.
Plus, looking back
at that, I should probably never have did that choice, because if I had stayed loyal to USD, there would be a lot of pro skates for Jacob Juul, you know. But
maybe,
back then it was like more impulsive, you know. And it was like, to look back at it, it was like doing that and being loyal to USD, or like move on and take that trip, you know. And I think I would never have changed it, because Kato, he invited me on trips to America, you know, when I was young. Back then, you know. I think half a year after, it was like writing me, let come here for 2 months. Like, as I told you, he invited me to come and meet all the pro skaters back then.
Yeah. Plus, it is really difficult. Like when literally the owner of the company is sitting next to you, showing you a skate, going, "We want you to skate for us," and then you've got people like Chris Haffey and Franky Morales, like within touching distance, who are also on the same team, and you're like, "I'm going to be on a team with Chris Haffey and Franky Morales." Like that's hard to say no to.
Exactly. It was back then. It was cooler to go to Remz, because it was more like a small group, like more family part, you know. So you felt like more that you were more a part of the company that way, you know?
Yeah, that's it as well. Like Powerslide had a lot of riders, so like, you know, you could be forgiven for thinking, oh, I might never get a chance on Powerslide, like I might never get a pro skate. Whereas with Remz, you're like, well, because it's so small, I've got I've got a better chance. What year was that?
Oh, I'm always hard to remember,
because I feel like, and I'm terrible with years, but I feel like
That's
you
like,
rode for Remz for like almost 10 years.
yeah, I think it was 7 years. Yeah,
Right.
maybe a
Um,
little bit longer. I think if I counted right, it's like 7 years on Rams and then 7 years on USD after.
okay. I wanted to ask about the 2009 tour because I'm sure that was the one that you did with Haffey, Wagner, and Franky Morales, and you guys went to like Spain and
Mm.
France, and I think you went to Venezuela as well. Is that right?
Venice,
Did you?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Like that looked like like that's kind of wild to go on such an extensive tour with two of like the biggest names in the sport and then one of the biggest names in Europe like Dominic Wagner. And in that tour footage, like you guys are all skating the same spots and you're basically holding your own against Haffey, who many people consider to be like the greatest skater of all time, and
Yeah.
Franky, who's also up there. Like in all the street spots, especially those massive rails in Madrid, you're going just as technical as they are.
Thank you.
What was it?
Yeah,
What was it like just going to all these street spots with them and just basically battling them in street spots around Europe?
I mean, it was like, of course, looking back at it, it was like amazing, you know. But I think while I was in it, it was like it was meant to be, you know. It was like again, I did work hard for it, you know. I've been since I was young practicing and practicing, you know, and so it was like my opportunity, you know. So I of course enjoyed it a lot, you know. But it's like it's everybody's dream, you know. When you're a skater and you want to be a pro, it's like the dream is to go on skate tours, you know. So yes, to go on a tour with like some of the best in the world was like amazing, you know. It was fun, but it was funny in this way that how I wanted to explain it like for some time now, it's like that the point for me to watch these guys in Daily Bread or in the video to actually sit next to them and being like skating the same spot as them, it was like surreal, you know. It was really unreal, you know. It was like again, it was like is it actually reality, you know,
Yeah.
because it was like my dream come true, you know. And I think after this I have been like in a really young age feeling that i I did what like I already managed to fulfill my dream, you know, like to travel around the world and travel with some of the best skaters in the world was like that was the dream from when I was a kid, you know. So already achieving that and at age of 18, you know, it was like yes, let's
Plus,
go for
yeah,
it.
yeah, it's got to be kind of crazy because obviously Denmark has no rollerblading companies and no like kind of anything to do with the rollerblading industry. And then,
Mm.
like you said, like the pros that were from there were long gone and finished.
Yeah,
And if the only like kind of contact you see is these people in magazines, it must just seem like another planet or just another life altogether. And then to be skating
exactly,
with them and being like my only
exactly.
contact with you is like watching you on videos or in magazines, and now you're there and you're going head to head with them.
Yeah, it's funny. Like definitely thanks to Tom Ahlqvist because he was friends with Kato, you know, and if they hadn't been friends, they probably didn't go to Copenhagen at that time, you know, and didn't make that connection, you know. But sure, you know, I did a lot of skating and I did a lot of competitions, you know, and again I think that's the part to like move on in the skate community. If you want to be pro or if you have these dreams, you know, you have to do an effort, you know,
Yeah.
make some good profiles, you know, and kill it, you know, and also kill it on the competitions, you know, be all around a good skater, you know.
On that tour, you guys ended up stopping off in England, and I'm pretty sure you were in Manchester and Liverpool. Franky
Yeah.
Morales get arrested at one of those stops. Were
uh
you there when that happened?
I don't think so, no. I don't know
No,
if it's the same tour.
I'm sure it was after. It was the same tour after, like I think it was like either the Chaz Sands Invitational
Yeah.
or it was one of those events at Rampworks. But the very next stop, like Frankie got into a fight at a bar, and him and the other guy got arrested.
Yeah, but I think that's 2 different years because there was
Uh,
one year I went on tour to Liverpool as well, and there was one tour where I had to like go home. I was going to some exams for school.
Ah, right. Okay. You
Yeah,
must have missed it then.
follow up on this one.
I,
But it
I
was funny when I was in Liverpool because I'd never been in Liverpool before, and I was like going with Kato and Chris Haffey and Franky. I was like, we were going there and we were like meeting the guys, and they booked us in a hotel for Kato. And Kato, I just remember how he told me like, yeah, Jacob, you have to come and show your passport because the guys they signed us in for the hotel in my name. So he was like, this guys here in UK, they must really like you, Jacob, because they signed a hotel in your name, so you have to go and show your passport. And I was like, what the fuck? That was like funny, you know.
Okay.
And from there on, like, yeah.
Have I been pronouncing your name wrong this entire time? Is it Jacob Juul or Jacob?
Yeah. I think international is Jacob, you know, American or English, you know, but in Denmark we say Jacob Juul. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Cool. Well, right. So that's okay then.
Like it's not spelled, but in Danish, Juul can also mean wheel.
No way.
Wheel, J-U-L, and I'm J-U-U-L, but it sounds the same. So it's like Jacob Wheels.
So it was meant to be, right?
It was meant to be, yeah. That's why I worked hard for my name here.
So you said that Kato paid for you to go to America a bunch of times, like so you.
Yeah.
And I remember you spent a lot of time in the States. So like, what were some of the highlights of that? Because it seemed like from
the highlight was that first time I came, we went directly to Woodward, and he picked me up. They picked me up in like minivan, and I'm there again sitting next to my idols, you know. I'm looking behind me. It's Jeff Stockwell. I'm looking to the right is Brian Aragon. I'm looking to the right and Trey Powell. And I'm like, holy shit. And like being this shy guy and just sitting there from Denmark, you know, don't even know what to say. And we went directly to Woodward. And when I'm asking the guys, like, where are we going? What are we doing? And Kato tells me, don't worry, it's a surprise. Just relax. Just lean back and relax. And you just, I buy your ticket here to come and enjoy and like, see what you are entering if you want to pick to be a pro skater, you know. So it was like the first time was like an introduction to the community, you know. And we go to Woodward, and I remember we were there in the evening, I think, and I have jet lag and I tried to sleep, I couldn't, you know. So it's like waking up early or whatever. I'm going to competition, and they had the amateur outside in Woodward, and it was this AIL,
yeah.
It was the, like world championship back then. And when I'm telling you, I'm serious. I didn't really actually know what I was going to. And we coming up there to when we entered, it's like you can sign up, and I go straight to the table to sign up. And I'm like looking there at Kato, hey man, let me sign up here or what? And he's like, only if you want. It's not like I don't put any pressure on it at you. I'm not the sponsor to tell you like you have to go and sign up for the competition. It's like on my own behalf. And I was like, of course I want to sign up. I want to show everybody here what I'm capable of, you know, and I want to show them why I took the trip all the way from Denmark to LA, you know, to do this, you know.
I want to come here and I want to try to beat everyone, right?
I think it was like that. It was more like, I want to show, you know, I want to like my time to shine, you know. And I signed up, and it was all on my own will. And I was skating this competition. I remember there was so many people that my heat or my group or like my run, it was a run, 1 minute run. And my run was like in the evening. It was super hot in the day, but you are a little bit in the mountains or like in the hills, like in Woodward West. So it's coming a little bit cold in the evening. I was like a little bit freezing because I was also like jet lagged and like, wow, long time, like haven't taken a trip like that by myself so long. And, you know, so I was a little out of myself, but then I put up a pretty good run, do some cool tricks, you know, go back. And I think the award show was the day after. So it's like I'm sleeping on it, or it was like in the evening, or it's a long time ago, but it's like I'm coming there, and I remember I meet a friend, Magnus, also like a flow rider from Remz, and we go out, like have a chat, you know, and when I come in the hall again, it's like people are like, oh, congratulations, man, Jacob. And I don't know anybody, you know, so I'm like, who are you? Why are you telling me this, you know? And I'm coming up, and then like, I think it was like Adam Kohler or some other guy, like this photographer or something. He was like, all right, it's like, what's happening? And he's like, go over to Kato, he's over there, like he will tell you. And then I go over and like I remember I was like going over to him, he's seeing me, he's like, where have you been? Like almost like shouting at me as like my dad, you know, like, where have you been? You should have been here like when there was the award show. You won the amateur competition, and you have to go over there and like get your present, get your prize, you know. And I'm like so confused going over, and in the end it was like I missed my award show because I was outside the hall and they were standing there saying my name because I won the amateur world championship without I actually knowing it, you know, because I just did my run the other day and then it was enough to win.
That's crazy that it was all decided on one run.
That was like 2 runs, you know, but it was like, not a final. It was just like everybody go through do a run, you know, and the best run count, I think, was like that, you know. And then you qualified for the pro league, you know. So like first day there was the amateur world championship, and then after was the pro world championship. Yeah. And I was coming number 6 on pro competition back then. So it was like blow my mind, you know. I still have a medal, and I won a like electric guitar as a statue like for the amateur world championship, you know. That's pretty cool. Although, how the hell are you getting that back to Denmark? You must have got to the airport and they're like, no. In the plane, you know, with it like between my like it was saying world champion on the guitar. So when I was waiting in the transit in the gate, you know, it was like people coming to me and it's like, oh, you're world champion in guitar, you know. I was like, no, this is something else. That's pretty funny. Yeah. They're like, play something. And you're like, I don't know how. I'm skating. But yeah, that was like blow my mind, you know, because nothing was expected, you know. So it was like cool. After the days after, I was like hanging out with Nick Wood, also I remember Nick, back then, and he was a guy that was like, we are following each other, he said, because Chris Haffey won this when he was teenager, the world AIL amateur world championship, and Nick Wood did it and I did it. So it was like, it was funny. Like, so you must have thought after that, like, well, I've went to America, I've done what I needed to do. Like, you must have thought, you know, it's going in the right direction. Yeah, it was definitely. And was this like how soon after this did you pick up the knee injury and have to get surgery? I think I was 23 or 24. It was like a couple of years after. Okay. So what happened there? Because I remember you had to have surgery, and I remember you couldn't skate for a year. But I don't remember what it was that caused it. It was definitely a bump on the way of my skate career. It was like cross ligament broken, ripped apart in my left knee. So was it like a particular fall, or was it just like over time? It happened in the Ignition skate park in what was it, like Austria? The one with the one with like the like flat handicap rail. Yeah, it was like driveway skate park. It was wood ground everywhere, and there was like these grind boxes down, and it was like the ground in the skate park was also made of wood plates. And it was like grinding down of the box, and I'm landing, and it's like kind of slippery a little bit. I don't know if you ever skated some skate parks where it's like the ground is also connected to the ramps, like wooden. It can be slippery or something. And my left knee just slipped out, and back there I tweeted it too much, you know, out of place, and it hurted a lot, man. So was it one of those ones where you tried to like let it heal on its own and it just didn't, or did you know that you had to go? Oh, see, you tried to wait it out. I waited 1.5 months, I think, and in that time, what I didn't know back then, but then I was skating with it and using it for 1-2 years after, and because you did that big like drop rail backslide with an injured knee, right? I could skate it because it was like I chilled with it for like 1.5 months, and at that time it grew back together. That's what my doctor told me. Then when I finally got the operation, he was like, first he thought it was my meniscus, and then he called me in again and said, it's way worse. It's your cross ligaments. But he couldn't see it in the beginning because he couldn't make sense of how much I could use it because it was grown back my back ligament with with the front, you know. So it was growing back together by itself, but it was growing wrong
Okay.
back. So it was still stuck in my knee from time to time.
Um, so obviously you had to have surgery on it. You weren't able to skate for like, I think, was it a year? An entire
Yeah,
year?
1 year, 9 months. Yeah.
For someone that's, obviously that obsessed with skating and traveling all over the world and, competing and doing really well and putting out all these video parts, for that to all just instantly stop, that must have been like tough to deal with.
It was, man. It was really tough. Sitting at home doing like fucking bored, you know, but I missed out on ground control tour in Barcelona, the video they made there.
Oh, for the team video.
Yeah. I missed out of a lot of things because it was like when that happened, I was booming, you know. I was like, I was not on the way down or something. It was only going up, you know. So it was like going up and then break and just sitting home, exercise every day, you know.
So what did you do for a year? Like you must have done
I'm
something.
always been studying, you know. I've always been like when I have a break from skating, or it's like I guess other European countries you can do the same, but it's like you can do a gymnasium, like high school, kind of like after regular school you can go before you go university or stuff. That you have gymnasium here, and you can either do that right after you finish school, like at a 17, 18, you know, you do it in 3 years, or you can do it
college.
College. Yeah. But you can also do it like separated, you know, and just put it out in like you do a half a year some studies, you know, and you do a half a year and another time some other study, and then in the end you complete all the subjects, you know, and you get a diploma as well. Okay. And I just did that. Instead of doing it over 2 years, I was doing it over 6 years, and then because it was like taking breaks from skating or not so much active in my skate career, I do study, and then if I get an invitation for some tours or stuff like that, I like pause my study and I do my skating career, you know, because it was like always for me, it was like I had the chance, you know, to do it. So it's like instead of saying, I cannot do skating too much because it doesn't give me the salary or something like that, it was more like to say, hey man, this is like once in a life, you know, time. So
plus at least it's something productive and it keeps your mind busy rather than, you know, just getting like bored and depressed because you can't do what you want to do.
I was doing just studying for a year, you know, home study and stuff like that. In the beginning I couldn't even move out of my house, you know. So
yeah, but when you came back, and I think it was like the 2011 Freedom of Feet edit or whatever it was, the one that Jonas made, like that came back hard like that. Yeah. It didn't look like you'd lost anything.
I think I gained a lot of things because also what I'm trying to push out is like to learn people is like the state of mind, you know, the mental training of skating. Also, like a lot of people maybe they just go skating every day and they get confused they're not learning or they're not improving, you know. It's also about improving in your mind, you know, like thinking about how you're doing these tricks, you know, instead of always just go and do it, you know. You have to sometimes also sit back and watch it from far, you know, and like give you ideas of new switch up or get you ideas of different ways to do the tricks, you know, to make it easier for you. So for me to have a break in 1 year, I don't want to say it was good for me, but it was like it didn't make me like worse or my skills down. It was more like a state of mind to like have some time off to think about how to do the tricks differently or how to do more interesting, how to make your skating more interesting, you know.
Yeah. So when you came back, were you like still doing trips to America, or what happened after you came back from injury?
Reason why I changed from Remz in the end was that it became less and less, you know. I heard less and less communication from Kato, and it's like nothing really going on. And then I went last tour in America, in California. I won a real street in Copenhagen, and the first prize was like a return ticket to LA.
Okay.
I went there. The last time I went, it was in 2012, and I went with my friend from home, you know, because he was like, he could get cheap tickets for his mom that was stewardess, you know. And we bought a car and did like that, the way you have to see America, you know. So you like buy a car and you drive it by yourself. Because the other times I went, it was like I was underage also, so it's like from over there, you know, I was 18. It's like I'm a kid when I go over there again, you know. And when I was 18 here, I grew up, you know. You can go buy alcohol, you can go do everything you want, but you come to America, you're like a kid again.
It's kind of weird. You're like, yeah, because it's like the whole 21 thing. It's like stepping back in time. You're like, oh, cool. Can't do stuff again. This is weird.
Exactly. When I came first time, I was like there around 17, 18, and you in Denmark at least you're like when you become adult when you're like 16 till 18. You know, there's different things that you're allowed to do, but you come over there, you're like you can do nothing. Everybody has to take you everywhere. You know, you become a kid again, and like everybody has to take care of you and stuff like that. It's like so strange, you know.
Yeah.
So
when you left Remz, you were like, because obviously it was you and Dominic like Wagner, you were like the two main guys in Europe, and Nils Janssens as well, but he was like obviously still quite young. And then it was just because it felt like the other guys had stopped. It was on the pro team, it was just Franky and Chris had already moved on to start doing shows by that point, hadn't he?
Yeah, I think maybe that was about the part. It was all about like nothing happening, you know. And then if you're an active skater, like you want like in the end, I see it more as like what was my opportunities there, you know? What could I do, you know? And in the end, I was like I was writing out to different companies, you know, and it took me 1 week to be sponsored by USD back then.
Because you were the second person to leave. Because didn't Dominic, did he not stop first and then you left, or did you leave first?
I don't remember, but yeah, I think maybe like pretty much the same time, because I guess he felt the same thing. It's like it was from like going tours in America, they coming here in Europe, we were going tours, you know, like everything's always something was happening every year. So had a couple of years where nothing happened, you know.
Yeah.
So it's okay, let's it's like more about what can you do with your career of skating than what can we do with Remz in the end, you know. It's like, again, it's a bit sad, you know, because it was like it's about riders, you know, to build a skate brand or stuff like that, you know. But if you're a rider and you feel like that not really something is happening, or why are we not going on tour this year, or like it's like you're looking different ways to see what's your options, you know. So yeah,
it was kind of bad timing though, because not long after that they offered a pro skate to Mason Richards and he turned it down, and then they offered the skate to Nils. Nils ended up getting two skates with them, and then Josiah Blee got a pro skate. So is part of you ever like look back on that and think, if I just like stuck with them, I would have had my pro skate from Remz, which you obviously wanted because you were loyal to the brand.
Always. I've never been loyal to the brands. I just go my own way, you know.
That's not true. You stuck with Remz for a really long time. Like you skate for Remz longer than most people skate for any brand.
No hard feelings or anything, but I was there as I told you, in 2012. I was sitting there with Kato, and he was like telling me, if we should make a pro skate with you, like come up with some ideas how it should look, which colors, you know. And I was there for 2 months, and I was working with him on a pro skate, and it never came out, you know. And I never heard anything from it. And it's funnily enough looked a lot like Joe Blee's or Just Blee's skate.
Well, I mean, how different can you make a Remz look? I mean,
no, but the same colors, you know.
Okay.
That was the colors that I suggested. It was kind of the point of, I don't know if you remember the skate. It was something between the two skates. Like they had the regular model and they had the open shell.
Yeah.
And I was trying to come up with an idea that to mix the two skates together.
So they actually had plans to give you a skate. It just never appeared.
Never appeared, no.
Okay. Then that makes sense. I can understand why. Yeah.
Powerslide wanted to give me a pro frame for Kaiser before I left them for Remz.
I remember they were doing that for a few people because Adrian, what was that around the time like Adrian Wallace and all those guys were getting Kaiser pro frames, and like Chaz Sands and stuff like that? Yeah.
Yeah, well, watching one of my profiles in a young age, also they were like, I think it was Ollie Bennett that write me like, oh my God, this is so crazy, man. You should definitely deserve a pro frame, you know. And we started working on it, and I sent him the graphic design of my signature and stuff. And then I was like, I was tired of the Deshi boot, and then the story about Kato coming Denmark and showing me the Remz Franky, and I was like, yeah, let me try this boot, you know. And then I'm riding back to Powerslide and telling them, yeah, I'm gonna skate Remz boot now, but I will still skate Kaiser. And then they were like, if you're gonna change the boot, we're gonna stop working with you, you know. It was like all or nothing.
So basically what you're saying is you've got the worst luck possible when it comes to getting like a pro product.
I think it never really, of course, you cannot say that it's not your dream when you're a pro skater, but it never really was something that I was like desiring, you know. It was not something that I really was like, I'm telling you, man, just to getting all these skates for free, man, especially in a young age, man, that was enough, man.
Okay.
Like sometimes I remember I would count how many skates I get for 1 year, and it would be like 5-10 pair of skates for 1 year.
That is a lot, yeah. For any
like friends that you're giving skates or you have too much, you know.
Yeah.
Throwing out skates in the dumpster, man. It's like,
plus it must have felt like
skates, you know?
yeah.
Feeling bad about it, but then okay, whatever, you know, have a new pair here, you know. So it's like, and again, in our community, it's like, what do you get out of getting a pro skate other than the prestige or to put it on your wall at home, you know?
This is true. Yeah.
It's not something that makes you a living, you know? So.
Well, yeah, some people never, actually not some people, many people never even got paid at all when they got a pro skate. They just got the skate and that was it. Yeah.
Exactly. I made a pro wheel for Denial.
Yeah, I remember that. The one with the graffiti on the side. Yeah.
Cool, man. I don't know if so many people remember that. I drew it myself, and I picked the colors myself. It was like totally out of line, that pro wheel.
I remember being quite surprised by that because it was you and Avashi Weissler from Israel, and I remember thinking, like, obviously Denial, Adam Kilgore, Philadelphia,
funny story as well.
And then there's just these like, two random guys.
It was like in IMYTA in Amsterdam.
Okay.
First one I went to, I think it was maybe the second that they were holding in Amsterdam, and I was back there also super young, man, and I was just killing it on these Deshi skates and 450 back royale and these scary double rails and shit.
I remember that was a terrifying spot like that. I'm surprised
so many people, like that was a real street out of the league, you know, so it's like so many people there, like I'm like skating, you know, and people like high-fiving you and you're like, whoa, what's going on? And like suddenly somebody just throw a t-shirt in your face almost while skate going back up or something, and that was Adam Kilgore in the crowd throwing t-shirts to the European riders that he liked, you know, to be like, oh, this guy's killing it, throwing him a t-shirt right in his face. I was like putting it up as like Denial t-shirt, and again I was like, Denial. I watched that Denial video with Chris Farmer, like there was all the Colin Kelso and Sean Kelso.
Underestimated? Was it that one? Or
I don't remember what it was called, but it was like so many profiles in the line, you know, and it was like these amazing skate. I was like, am I fucking getting a Denial t-shirt? It was again, you know, it was like dream come true from a brand that I was like watching so much when I was young, you know. So it was like big achievement again there, you know. And then doing the competition, the guy comes over to me, Adam Kilgore, and he's like, yeah, we want you to ride for us, you know. And that was a trip as well, you know, because like 1 year after he supported me and he bought me a ticket to Philadelphia, to East Coast.
I remember that. I remember there was filming for Denial in Philadelphia, and I can't remember whether it was you or Avashi who skated the drop rail and fell over the other side and hit their head. Was that you or him? I remember they said it was like the first day of filming or something like that, or like the second day of filming. If you don't remember, it probably wasn't you.
No, I don't think I hurt myself that much there, but I was already hurt with my knee.
Okay.
it was struggling me a lot. I was even talking to this guy Adam and being like, "Oh man, I'm injured. I cannot go on the skate tour. You know, I feel bad to go all the way to America to not be able to skate fully. You know."
Yeah.
But I did like Jeremy Sonderberg. I think I made a split part with him in a video they were working on at that time.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm bad with all the names of these videos and
You
shit.
don't.
Have been
Who
part
who,
of
who
it.
was making the video?
Adam Kilgore and like Denial and these guys.
I don't remember Jeremy Soderbergh ever skating for Denial. That's weird.
No, it wasn't a Denial video. It was more like a crew video.
Ah, right. Okay. Right. That makes
Yeah.
more sense. So,
But it was like, you know, I was like seeing the US East Coast side, you know, with the Denial and with all these skaters from there. They had like Adam Kilgore was living in this house, like skater house.
yeah.
I remember I met Mantre there for the first time, and
Was
we were
that
skating
when?
with
Was that when John
Mark
Believe?
Mike Voida, Mark Voida, huh? Mark
Mark
Voida.
Vodka. Yeah. Voida. Yeah.
Skating with him and with John Bellino.
Yeah. Because
We
he
were
was
all
living.
like-
Was he living with Kilgore then?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. That must. And that's the kind of
was
skating
like a
you
skate
like as
house.
well. Yeah, because they all like to skate big stuff and they like to go tech on big stuff. So
Yeah.
you must have been like, these are my people. These are the kind of skaters out.
Yeah, it was really cool experience, man, to be with them there. Only sad part was that I wasn't able to skate fullest, honestly. I was injured.
Yeah, that's got to be frustrating. So when things like were coming towards the end with Remz, or you thought they were, like, did you approach like several companies, or did you only approach USD to be like which other companies did you hit
approached
up?
several companies, but I'm not lying when I think it only took 1 week, maybe 2 weeks, and 1 week answer, and 2 weeks I had the first USD again after I was on Dishy for Power Slide, and then Remz, and then coming back to Power Slide. 2 weeks after writing them, I was sitting with the Franky Morales USD carbon skate in my hand.
Because you put out a lot of promos for USD during that time. Like there's a lot of sections on YouTube of you promoting like 72s, carbons, like various Aeons, like the Ahlqvist Aeon. Like you put out a lot of content for them.
But that's also the time when I was still working with Jonas Hansen a lot, and not to sound cool or anything, but I really spend little time to make these profiles.
Okay.
It goes 1 or 2 weeks, because when I'm trying to work on something, I'm not the guy that spend half a year on a section or something.
Yeah.
It becomes really fast. It's like killing it for a couple of days, you know, making 5-10 tricks in one day, you know, and just bam, 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 and finally see the finished product, you know?
I'm sure I saw in one of those edits, you just had a piece of paper and you were just like crossing off all the tricks. Is that right?
Yeah.
You're just like, right, that's that done. Next.
Yeah. Big thanks to Jonas. I think it's like a lot of guys filming with him will find it like a little bit harsh, because he was really professional in his work, you know, how you can see it. But it was a lot about like, okay, let's go in the morning to have this light, and you will do these tricks and this drop rail or whatever, you know, and you'll be there alone with him and trying to be like, push yourself to do it, because there would be nobody around you, you know. But I've always been pretty good at pushing myself. Like,
I was going to say that in all the like sections I've seen of you over the years, you always seem very excitable and always to be like your own hype man. You're always like, you know, pumping the air and like shouting, like, you know, making the little signs to the camera and stuff like that. And it just seems like you get yourself excited to skate.
Yeah, but definitely fun filming with him, you know. But I also understand. I also was frustrated sometimes, because it becomes really much like just
work.
That's the work, you know, to do. But I enjoyed it as well, and I always love to see the finish of like a section, you know, to have everything part together, you know. Even like going one day and film like 5-6 tricks, you know, and go back to his place and watch the raw footage, you know. It was like to see like a edit evolving or coming together, you know. that was really
Yeah,
cool.
yes, like it's really satisfying to see the work you put in,
Yeah.
like like build into something that
Yeah, when you have a photographer like him, like putting his camera your way, and also editing and everything, it's just your job is just to pull it off, and like
so
you can see that that's the main thing of the job, but if
yeah,
you're really
yeah.
good at it, it's like it's not so hard for you, it's just to find the time and go out and do it.
Yeah, no, definitely. So when you joined USD, were you just wanting to be a part of something else, or did you actually like want to, end up on the pro team, or like what was did
I
did you
didn't
have
I didn't
anything in
know
mind?
I didn't know where I'm gonna end. I just knew that after my injury, I wasn't finished. My doctor, when he operated me, he asked me if I'm gonna go back to my career. I wish to do that, or he want to fix my knee just to be able to walk or whatever to normal use. And I was like, no,
You're like, I'm
I,
I'm not done. Yeah.
no, I'm not done. I'm still hungry. So when I came back, it was like, yes, asking USD, asking different brands to be like, okay, let's do next step, because not so much is happening here with Remz, and I was like tired of waiting for a pro model. I was tired of waiting on like next tour, whatever. I was like, okay, let's see how far I can take it, and it was becoming more of like, as I also said earlier, it was like when I was 18, 19, I already did my dream. I already fulfilled traveling the world, meeting all the pro skaters and stuff. So it was like at that time I was like 23, and it was like, let's just try. What are they gonna say? And
Yeah.
2 weeks after asking them to sponsor me, they were replying me, yes, of course, and just no question asked. And then it becomes 7 more years sponsored by USD.
So
And
like, was it just a case of, yeah, just filming sections for them, or were there any opportunities with USD? Like, did you ever, get to travel with them, or like get hooked up with anything like
yeah,
that?
I made a couple of tours. I don't remember. Did they also support me sometimes on some of my own like tours to competitions? I'd be like, I want to go this competition, I want to go fees, I want to go that competition, and they would like support me a little bit. They would pay also for the video sections a little bit.
Right.
So, but no, not really. I remember when I was on tour with Richie Eisler and Nick and these guys. Like, we were in Paris, and the guys are like asking me, my teammates asking me like, when are your pro skate coming out, Jacob? And I was like, I don't know. How should I know? I'm not the judge of that. And they're like, yeah, of course you are. You should just ask them. You should ask them like 100 times. That's how we all do it. And I was like, are you kidding me? Are you begging people for your pro skate? I'm not that kind of guy. So it's like, I tried one time to ask them after that tour to be like, hey, what do you say to do a pro skate? And they come the suggestion that they would make a pro skate for me if I could connect with Skate Pro and make them buy all my pro skates. Because like they would make a pro skate with me if they could be sure that Skate Pro would buy, like, I don't know, it was 60 or 80% of all the skates,
Yes, but yeah, because Skate Pro is like one of the biggest shops in Europe, or if not the biggest shop in Europe, but still, like,
Now,
that shouldn't
I think it was-
be on you.
I was
I mean,
just
you're
like,
not a marketer. You're not in sales. That's not your job. Is to make a name for yourself and be well known and be liked, and like you are a big name in the European scene. So like you're doing your part. It's their job to sell the skates.
yeah, you can say that, but I was just like fed up of it, I was like, if that's the way you have to get a pro skate, nah, it's not my deal,
Yeah.
I have enough in this,
Yeah, like
Now,
that's fair enough. Yeah.
I've been number one so many times in the competitions, I killed it so many times. So a lot of experience, really cool experience, It's not going to take anything from me that I don't get a pro skate, whatever. That's a joke. If it's that way to get a pro skate, whatever,
Right.
I'm sure it's not for everyone. I'm sure that somebody get it the right way, that they come and ask you and say, hey, we want to make a pro skate for you, what design do you, But if you have to go ask them. No, one other thing was funny that they said to me, like, we were talking about how you get your sponsor gear when you're sponsored by USD. And that was the same Richie Eisen telling me, oh, but you just have to ask of as much as possible. And I remember I come back from the tour and I was like, before I went back, when I asked them through an email, you write email, you know, and you ask for like new skates and new wheels and new bearings, you know, and they send you that. But in reality, you go ask, how much can you actually ask for?
You're like, can I have this, and this, and then hopefully you get like some of it.
And then you cross your fingers and
Yeah.
then mail the next day. And you look and they say, yes. They said yes. And you order like 3 or 4 pair of skates. Like you order everything you put up your mind, you know. You look through all the websites with power slide gear, and this bag, and this t-shirt, and this hoodie, and these different wheels. Could I ask for 1 pair of wheel more? Yes, I do that. And in the beginning, after that, it was jokes, man. I get boxes huge, you know, with so much gear.
That's so funny. Yeah.
I don't even use half of the gear, you know. And
But
I
you
can
could-
say
you-
that now, you know, like I'm not sponsored by them anymore, but half of the gear I didn't even use, you know. It's just like,
You know, you
give it
could
to
get
friends or sell
yeah,
it,
you could give
know.
it to like friends or like the kids at the schools that you're teaching, or you can use it as like, I don't know, prizes for like little competitions that you
Yeah,
run with your skate school.
when I started the skate school, I benefited a lot from like got extra wheels then, and some of the kids. I remember I give a lot of free stuff out to some of the kids that becomes good, you know. Like, yeah, that was a cool trick you did, man. You learn a lot these days, man. Here's a pair of brand new wheels. Oh, thank you, Jacob. You know.
So once Richie told you this and you figured out that you could basically get as much as you want out of Power Slide, and you're getting these packages that are like Christmas, basically, just big boxes of stuff.
Yeah, funny you say Christmas, because I was always telling me I have birthday many days a year. I always joke with my friends like, what is that, Jacob? Yeah, it's my birthday present. You don't have birthday now? No, but I have birthday every day, you know. Fucking so funny, man.
So why did you decide that you wanted to end that with USD if you're getting all this stuff? If you're like, what about skating for USD did you decide that you just didn't want to do anymore?
No, they decided for me.
Oh, it was their idea.
Yeah, they kicked me out. Skate Pro and USD, they finished with me.
Oh, so it was like being sponsored by USD was connected to Skate Pro.
Not in the first part. It was USD first and then Skate Pro after.
Right.
But
So
then I think it was all downfall of my behaviors. It's like, don't taking their part seriously enough, you know. Don't be in the Skate Pro rider or the USD rider, but doing my own thing, you know.
all right. So like did they give like a particular reason, or did they email you or call you, or like how did it happen?
Same as always. It's like rollerblading community, like the brands and stuff is always about not enough money, not enough sales. We have to cut off the teams. We cannot pay you anymore.
Right. Okay.
It's like, it's the sad part of being a pro skater is when you hear these bad stories, and I heard them many times.
Yeah.
Of how the community, how the sales are going down, how there's no future in rollerblading, blah blah blah. They said it to me first year I was sponsored by Skate Pro, that yeah, but we are not really selling anything. I do skate school 1 year, and the guy calls me back and say, oh, the numbers are up. Or we can see that like they're buying skates again, you know. And it's like, what do you think, man?
So why did you get dropped from Skate Pro if you're doing these schools and they're seeing the difference in terms of sales, and they can like connect it and say, well, you're getting these kids into the sport, people are buying product?
I think it's more because I was doing my own thing, you know. It's like,
Okay.
if I did Skate Pro skate school, for example, or USD camps or whatever, you know, it would be more sufficient for them. But I built my own company.
Did they ever like approach you about doing that? Like saying, oh, we'll give you this if you like name it after us or whatever, or you let us like be an official sponsor, or?
No, it's like I had the skate school, my skate school, we were starting Having Skate Pro as sponsor. USD also supported us in the beginning. I asked them about the project, you know, and they sent me like 2-3 big boxes of skate, like protection gear and stuff like that. So big thanks to them, you know. In the beginning, they supported me a lot to build this project, you know. Skate Pro was like a main sponsor of the company, but it was always about we didn't tag them enough in this, or we didn't tag them enough in that, and
right.
It's like it can be sometimes a little bit bullshit, you know. If you feel you do enough,
it just kind of seems like you're like, I just don't care about that stuff. So
it's like, again, it's about what you get out of it, you know. Like for what you have to do, you know, and if you have to do ads every time, and if you have to always remember to tag them in every thing you do, and for what are you doing it? And again, as you said, like what did I do for them, you know? And if you don't agree in the terms of what you're giving each other, you know, it's like it's hard to make a connection, you know, or a deal together.
No, that's fair enough. It seems like the skate school's been going well though, because you've been doing it. How long? It seems like you've been doing it quite a while now. No,
6 year all, but in the beginning it was only roller skating or inlines.
Yeah, but
I had a name. Now it's called Low Academy. Low stands for Life on Wheels.
Okay.
And we have done for 4 years now.
Because am I not right in thinking you either did a skate school in Venezuela, or you took your skate school there, or was it something like that?
In Venezuela?
Yeah.
It was all charity.
Ah, right. Okay. So like you flew over there on your own to do what?
No, that's a really cool story as well. It was like I became friends with Yara.
Yeah.
I think we met first time at summer class, and then he's like, we just been like knowing each other a little bit, you know, and like communicating a little bit online. And then he finally see my project in the same time he was traveling Venezuela and meeting these kids and meeting this guy, like director of the skate park in a city called Porto Cabello. And coming back from that, he reached out to me and was like, oh, I meet all these kids here, man, and then they need help. They need somebody to come and show them how is skating done, you know. They need donation of skates. They had the most broken skates, you know. So it's
I can imagine, yeah.
We donated, like how I said, I think we donated like over 150 pairs of skates over the years, over
nice.
2-3 years, and like months of free lessons with them, you know, as charity.
So did they
reach out to me, and then I went with him the next year, and we did all this together. Yeah.
Right. So did they like pay for you to go out there to do that, or?
No, it's my company paid for me. You know?
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
How long did you do that for? Because it seemed like you were out there for a while.
1.5 months the first time.
Right. And how many times?
The second time was also like five weeks or something, and yeah, I've been in Venezuela 4 times now.
Yeah, it looks like.
Last time was with my girlfriend. I met her and I was like, I have this friend. We go Venezuela sometimes. I'm like, I want to go this winter as well, and she's like, I want to come with you. And I was like, I fall in love one more time with her, because that was cool, you know. I have a girlfriend that not scared, you know, want to see the world, you know.
Yeah, who's going to pass up the chance to go there? Like, it sounds awesome.
Yeah, because that's not a place you just go as a tourist, you know.
True, but yeah, it's one of those things that, you know, how not many people, you know, from, well, Europe and the UK can say that they've been there. So it's one of those awesome things to visit and experience.
I think it's, again, a lot about like using your skating, the community, using the skill you have to go and do something different, you know, because we never like we didn't had a scary moment there. Definitely not by skating, you know. Yeah. You can go skate down the most scary places, the ghettos places and stuff, and see sketchy people, but you have your skates on and you're doing some gnarly trick there. doesn't matter, you know, they're gonna be like, whoa, you're sick, you know, and give you
Yeah.
heads up, like five high fives, you know, and be like with a gun in the pants, you know, like it's a ghetto life there, you know. But if they see you doing mad stuff, you know, and you're not afraid to fall and hurt yourself, you know, there's respect right there, you know.
Yeah.
I think that's a cool thing about skating again, you know. They always call you, oh, you're sick in your head, you know, but it's in a positive meaning, you know, because
Yeah.
you jump
Yeah.
perfectly on a rail and grind it and not being afraid, you know. There's some street skills right there, you know.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
when they see you, and when they see you taking 3-4 big I was like ice hockey bags that we got sponsored from Skate Pro back then, like CCM, huge baggage, like full with skates, full with gear, full with bearings, wheels and stuff. And like we lined the kids up in the skate park, you know, they coming in one at a time, and they're like, you did good effort in skating. You deserve this aggressive pair of skates. And it's like, are you new to skating? I only skate 2 days. Okay, you're not gonna get aggressive. You're gonna get this pair of skates, you know. And for the people, for the city there to see what we were doing, you know, it made it really cool to be there. You know, we became
like
famous.
That's changing their kids' lives. Like that's stuff, especially, you know, if they grew up in an impoverished area or where they don't have much, like that's something they're never going to forget. They're never going to forget like getting such an awesome, it's basically a gift, like getting an awesome present, because maybe their parents couldn't afford to get them something like that. And
definitely not afford it, and there's no place to buy it, you know, in Venezuela. There's no skate shops, and they cannot afford to ship it there. It's like over the league, you know. So it's like cool to be a part of this, you know, and cool to change people's kids' mind, you know. It's like I'm here teaching kids and like talking to parents and changing the kids' lives here in Denmark. Kids are shy, kids are like afraid or like antisocial, you know, a little bit, and you teach them skating and you teach them about life, and they change completely, you know.
Yeah, just like come out of their shell, and it gives them more confidence. Yeah,
exactly. You see parents, they even tell me so many times like, Jacob, man, thank you so much for what you have been doing, you know. And you go in Venezuela and the other side of the world, and you can do the same there.
Yeah.
But there it's like they are poor, you know, and they have nothing. So it's like, it's whatever you give them there.
Even if they don't pursue it, or doesn't become like a lifelong passion for them, it still brings them joy, because it's a happiness. It's like a pleasant experience.
And for the last couple of years doing this and doing the project with Venezuela, doing all these projects at home, you know, it becomes for me like, I find me a really good place and state of mind here in the skate community, because to run around and being this cool skater and being like having this skater attitude, like, man, I'm joking so much with it. Like even Denmark is like it's a skateboard capital, you know.
Yeah, because they have the yearly event, don't they?
I can go in the big skate park with like 10 kids, and they're super happy, and we're teaching, and they come like skateboarder like screaming at me like, "What are you doing here? You cannot be here with teaching kids, you know, making money out of this, blah blah blah," and like hating me for that. I'm like, chill out, man.
Yeah.
You have nothing to say, man. I travel the world. I help people everywhere, you know, like shut up and leave, you know, because you have bad mentality. You have bad vibes, you know, like don't run around being like this cool douchebag when you are skating around in a community that's so poor, you know. And I can say that of skateboarding as well, because so many good skateboarders are the same as us, like poor as fuck, and they have nothing, you know. Even if they're super good, it's only the 1% of these sports that get wealth, you know, like,
yeah.
Or you have to be smart doing some company that get wealth, you know, like doing some skate school, doing some brand, you know, or something, because you cannot just live off being a douchebag and good at what you're doing, you know.
That's a good statement. You can't live off being a douchebag. No.
And I think that's all the kind of skating, like, it looks really cool from the outside, you know, and you see it from outside. Oh, people are like happy, friends with each other, you know. But when you come in under the, what do you say?
Yes, it's only when you like look behind the curtain, you're like, no one earns any money. Yeah.
Yeah. or is everybody wants it to themselves, you know, a lot of times also, I think.
Yeah. So as like you mentioned getting shouted at by skateboarders, is that like a problem in Copenhagen? Because in Europe generally, especially in the UK, it's not really a thing. Like even it kind of was a little bit growing up as a teenager. You'd get, I don't know, get like a little bit of attitude from the older guys, but I feel like in Europe it was never as bad as it was in America. So what's it like there?
I think skateboard is the community here is bad, you know. It's like it's always been. I think everywhere you go, a little bit. It's like jokes from one time I was in Lausanne in Switzerland, where it's like upside down. The rollerbladers, and they are the big community, you know. And there you come, and the skateboarders, the guys hiding behind the ram and shy and like trying to come and be the nice guys, you know. But I mean, I'm working a lot with it. That's also why I changed from doing skate school that's only about roller skates or inline skates, and it's also skateboard and it's also scooter, because I'm trying to learn the new generation that all wheels are
Get
cool.
along, yeah.
Don't shout at the guy just because he has a scooter, you know. Don't tell him he is not allowed to be here just because, or tell him that it's not a real sport, man. I'm seriously, I'm working with a lot, like I'm trying to work with a lot of these guys here, and it's like our competitive guys here in Denmark is like skateboard schools. And the guys there, they say scooter is not a real sport. It's just this is just a phrase from start skating to do skateboarding. It's like, didn't you see what the guys are doing on scooter? Didn't you see what the guys are doing on roller skates? How can you say it's not a real sport, you know? And it's so arrogant.
Tell that to the guy throwing himself down El Toro on a scooter. That scootering is not a sport. Like the guy's like literally risking his life, and you're gonna tell him that's not legitimate.
But it's like, and that's why I'm saying the mentality here is a little bit off, because again, we also been talking with some of the skateboarders having something to say about building skate parks and stuff, and their mindset is a lot like, we just want to chill. We just want to chill. We don't want to have the skate park for ourselves. We don't want to mix all these sports together because we are skating this way and you are skating another way, and we don't want to have something to do with you. We want to just our own thing, you know. And there is where I come in, because I'm so tired of it. For all my time I've been skating, it's like coming in skate park and it's like, are you fucking rollerblader? Or it's like attitude, you know? And it's like, why? Like, why can I not, even I go in, when I was younger, I go in clubs or something and I meet some of the skateboarders. If I meet him alone, he would go nice to me and say hello. But if he screws it behind him, it's like, yeah, that fucking rollerblader.
Yeah, it's just that like childish, like mob mentality.
Childish, you know? And it's like, why, you know? And now I'm just laughing my ass off because I do skateboarding as well, and I do scooter as well, and I do private lesson in skateboarding, and I teach all the kids how to skateboard. I don't care, you know. It's like, it's the same for me to do skateboarding, rollerblading, or scootering, you know. I do tail whips and 360s on a scooter, and I do kick flips and 50-50 grind on a skateboard, and I do backflip and 900 on a roller skate, you know. It's like, whatever, you know. It's like everything is fun, you know. And when the kids ask me what is the coolest thing, it's like all the things are cool in the different way.
Whatever you just like
please
best.
High five him. Just please clap at my kid when he does a soul grind, and the kid that do the soul grind, please clap on the kid learning a kickflip, you know. Just please be friends with each other, because when I was a kid, I never understand why can I not be friends with the skateboarders, you know. Why can we not have good time together?
I mean, there is no good reason
other than like jealousy or like this group mentality that we are as human. I think, you know, it's like, it's a lot in our nature to like, I think I talked with some guy to set it up really cool for me, because in Denmark we have a lot of rowing clubs, like for sailing, you know.
Yeah.
And if you're doing canoeing, you don't like the rowing boat.
All right.
So it's like, even in this type of sport,
they've got their little cliques. Yeah.
You can also say it with skiing, you know, snowboard and skiing, you know, they're
That's
actually
true,
becoming
yeah.
really. I think that I didn't ski so much, but how I heard is that they actually learn to behave nice between each other on the slopes, you know. But in a long time it was the same, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Um,
So is like doing the skate schools, or like the now all action sports like scooters, skateboarding, skate schools, is that like your like main source of income? Is that just what you do for a job?
yeah,
So it must be going well.
yeah, it's true. I mean, I'm skeptical, you know. It can always be better, you know, but I've held it up for like 3-4 years now with like because we're doing group lessons every week, almost teaching every day, you know. If I don't make myself a holiday or 3 days, you know, I could be working every day with
Okay.
teaching.
So are the classes big? Like how many kids do you teach at one time?
We try to hold it on a minimum or like a maximum, sorry, on 7 to 8 people or
Right. Okay.
students.
And is it just you teaching the kids, or do you have other people that do it as well?
We have a lot of instructors. Yeah,
Right.
we have like we had like I have different, you know, but they're losing the interest after 1 year normally as being an instructor, you know. But I have one of my best friends, brother Alexandru. You probably see him in some of my stories as well. I'm always skating with him. He's instructor too, and he's really good instructor. He teach normally the adults, and he has also have the kids sometimes. He speak English. He don't speak Danish yet. He's learning it right now, but really cool. I've always been working with him, and even if the kids are young and they don't understand what he says, you know, he's teaching them body language, you know, and it's like,
Yeah, they can see just by watching. Yeah.
yeah. And we have different skills, you know. I'm how we say always the strict instructor, the one that go again, you know, and no, that wasn't right, you know, you have to do it again. Where he's more of the kind guy, you know, and like more friendly with them, you know.
Right.
It's super funny to work with because like the kids can be like, "Oh, Jacob, you're too hard with us," you know, and then I put him to the other instructor, and then they go, "Oh, we want Jacob again because he's hard with us," you know, and we push ourselves there, you know, so
Yeah.
pretty much balance, and it's super funny.
That's pretty funny. So yeah, well that's awesome that it's going well. Yeah, sounds like
It's like from a group lesson, we developed a lot in private lessons here over Corona as well, because people sitting home and have something to do, you know, and
yeah.
their normal sport is canceled or whatever, you know, and they buy a private lesson with me or one of my other instructors, you know, and
Did you notice like a massive increase in that after coronavirus? Because it felt like everyone suddenly got back into skating again. So how
it
was
was
that for
crazy,
you?
man. When Corona started last year, it was like because I have a lot of use like second hand skates, you know, like that I use I do a lot of workshops as well. Like this week I've been busy. I do 2 workshops every day and like 12 hours work, you know, 2 different cities, you know. But there I have a lot of skates with me, and there in the beginning of Corona in like March last year or something, it was like people contacting me like, "Oh, I heard from my friend that you have skates, so I can buy some cheap skates from you," you know. I almost sold out like all of these aggressive secondhand skates because it was like people contact me from there and there, and then I meet this old friend on the street, and he's like with a guy, and he's like, "Oh, you skating? Oh, cool, man. I should get back to skating," you know. And I had like the first 20 people contact me for either buying new skates or buying secondhand skates, you know. And I was like, wow.
That's
We
awesome.
built a small skate park close to like next to our office, and it's just like DIY skate park where you have like a like good grind box, you know, where you can practice, you know. And I was always down in my office doing work and doing business, you know, and then like taking a break, going down to the skate park. It was like always new guys, you know. It's like,
That's
"Oh,
cool.
I haven't
Yeah.
seen you skating for 5 years." "Yeah, I just got back to it," you know. And there was this whole like Asian crew here in Copenhagen that hadn't skated for like a long time. The 3 cousins, I think they are, you know, be in our low skate park every day. And I was like, "Oh, what's up, guys?" You know,
That's
it's really
nice. Yeah.
funny.
I like it.
I think
Cool.
skating improved a lot during Corona. Like
Yeah.
I'm not able to buy a lot of skates, man. Everything is sold out all the time. I have students that want to buy new power slide skates or whatever, you know, and I'm like, but nothing. I can get nothing, you know.
Yeah.
It's nowhere.
That's awesome, though. I'm glad. Yeah, glad things are going well with the school and the local scene's picking up, because that's what it's all about. Like just having
Uh,
building it at a local level, and then hopefully all the
it's
local
definitely
scenes.
it's definitely not an easy job, but I hired a new guy. He's actually a journalist. He has nothing to do with skating, but he's helping me out in organizing and talking to people and writing emails and blah blah blah, all this business work, you know. But um oh, what do I want to say? Like, yeah, like we're busy all the time, you know, like um doing different workshops, talking to communes, you know, like I had last year was like in Denmark, like the municipalities from different cities, they got a lot of like lot more money for charity or for activities during Corona,
Right.
and they were like in the end of last, like before last summer vacation, they were like different cities calling me all the time. Oh, can we order a workshop? Can we order a workshop? Because they were having like a bigger budget than normal, and they had to like do something with the money, you know. So we were super busy last year, and this year we have been almost the same. Like I'm driving around like different cities like every week here in the summer vacation
Sounds
and doing
positive.
workshops and like planting seeds everywhere I go, man, with skating. It's like it's amazing. I was just like I was trying to tell you before, like yesterday we were out finishing up a workshop in the skate park out of Copenhagen, and this kid had just improved so much during the day, during the like from Monday till Friday, and then his parent come and he ended up buying the aggressive skate, the Celtic K
Oh
skate,
yeah,
the
yeah,
junior skate, you know,
yeah.
because he'd been using borrowing that skate from us like the whole time, you know, the whole week, and then the end he begged his parents to buy the skate for him, you know, and it's like it's so cool to see that, hey, you are actually doing something, you know.
Yeah,
Let's
and
hope this kid
getting
is gonna
getting
skate for
excited
some
about it. Yeah,
time. Yeah.
that's nice. Awesome. Yeah, it sounds like things are going really well, and yeah, sounds incredible. I've taken up loads of your time. I've got three very random questions for you, though. Right.
Yeah.
First one, you and Jonas have known each other for years. Obviously, he makes incredible videos. You were in Traitmont. He made, some of your like amazing Remz sections and some stuff for Powerslide. How come you guys never worked on Elite series together?
Because we grew apart. We grew apart. Like I had some time, you know. I was busy. I think a lot of time it's about the skate school for me, because I went from being young, like not knowing too much what to do, like what should I start? Should I start any study, you know? And then from one time to another, I was like talking with some guys. Daniel from Norway, I was friend with. He lived in Denmark, and he helped me doing a website in the beginning. And from there on, I just went full on. You know,
Right.
I didn't had time to like. Yeah, I fucked up like when we were about to do a project, like filming for a project, and my head was somewhere else. You know, I was like, I was working, I was teaching, I was doing this project, you know, and then just missing some days. I think missing some appointment with him, you know, and
Okay.
like, oh, let's go film this day, let's go film that day, you know, and then missing out and coming 1 hour late or whatever, you know, and he got pissed with me, you know.
I
I think
mean,
it was.
I would have got pissed with you. Yeah.
I think me and Jonas, we had a lot of cool time together, but in the end, we had different state of mind. You know, I'm
Yeah,
a little
no,
bit
that's fair
more
enough.
I'm a little bit more ruthless in this point. We had our times a lot of time. Also on tours, he come to me and like, please behave, you know. And I was this rad kid, like, let's just do it, you know. I don't care.
Right. Okay.
I think he's a more chill guy, you know. And he do his he's a perfectionist, you know. And that's why he does these cool skate movies, you know, because he put all his effort into this, you know. And but yeah, I don't know
No,
how I can say it in a different way, you know. It
no,
is
that's
a
fair. No,
different
I get it. That it makes sense.
it's a different time for me in skate community, because I'm not there to go and hang out with the guys and drink beers and have a session and skate some street. A lot of the guys also come to me sometimes and say, "Oh, when you go skate for yourself, or when you go and practice," you know. And I'm like, I skated 21 years, man.
Yeah, you're like, I've done that. I want a new challenge. Yeah,
I,
that's fine.
I enjoy going skate with the kids, man. I've group lesson every week, and we have like these cool girls, man. It's like in the group classes for inline skates, we have mostly girls, and they are like putting so much effort into. They want to be cool skaters as well, you know, and it's enjoyable, you know. Instead of going and skating with your buddy and sitting there in the skate park being cool and like just talking to each other and stuff, it's like going to the skate park with 10 kids following you around and giving them a blast of their life, you know. It's like, that's where I am in the state of mind right now, you know.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that at all. No, that's fair enough. That answers that question. I just wondered, because obviously you guys have known each other and have been friends and made stuff in the past. I just wondered why you didn't do that. Next question. What is your favorite section that you've ever filmed? Like, what one do you look back on and go, oh, that was like, it's never...
Freedom of Feet. I think it was called the Remz Freedom of Feet.
Was it the 2000? The 2000, the 2009 one.
Yeah, I think so.
Because there was one.
Well, was the one that you were pointing out as well, where I'm riding the tricks down or crossing them off.
Right. Okay. That's either 2009 or 2011. Yeah, it's one of the one before injury or after injury.
Before injury.
Right. Okay.
I think it was one of the first one. It starts with me drawing on the board.
Yeah. Like the school board. Yeah, I know the one you mean. Yeah.
That was pretty serious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And looking back, what has been like the biggest highlight of like your skating career? Because obviously you've mentioned some moments like AIL and things like that, and like winning events. Like, is there anything in particular you're like, oh, I'm never going to forget that moment?
There's a lot of things I'm never going to forget, definitely. Like working with Jonas was a cool blast, you know, going to visit all the pro skaters in California and winning that competition, as I told you, without even knowing it, was a blast. But I think to be honest, like 2018 was my year, like, and I'm not sure it's going to be bigger than that, like, compared to like winning competitions and stuff. I won the Pannonian Challenge in Croatia. I'm going there in 2 weeks' time again. But I went there first time I went there in 2018. I won over Roman and Brad, and it's like big competition, you know. Like confetti over me was like, that was the shit. I got second in Master of Will Street. I did like top sole, 360 top sole on this huge kink.
On that really high kink. Oh, that thing is horrible. That kink reel looks nasty.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was just doing really good. I won a lot of money, like just doing what you love, you know, doing competitions and like traveling around, you know. So it was cool. I was in Pannonian Challenge in Croatia with my friend, actually friend that I started skating with, like from when I was 10 years old, you know, my friend Klaus. He was like, the year before, he was like, or same year, he was like, oh, Jacob, man, let me go travel with you and to your competition. I've never been like, he had never been to like international competition and see me, what I'm doing like that, you know. And he went me to a couple of one. He also went with me in Onda in Spain, in close to what is it called? Alicante, I think.
Alicante. Yeah, like, I know the Onda competition. Yeah, in the south of Spain.
Same year I went there, and I also won it there. And I had my friend, and we were like, "You are my manager." And we went around, you know, having a blast, you know. And me winning, it was just like mad, you know, like screaming to everyone, teaching the kids everywhere we go, you know. It was joy, really joy. I think 2018, like, I can definitely find like other things, like earlier in my career, there was definitely maybe a bigger blast, but thinking back at it right now, 2018 was like a year of gold medals. I think I won like 6 first place.
That is a lot. Yeah.
Wheel Street at home, like I was like best trick in Master of Wheel Street, you know, and Like it was mostly all the competition I went to. I was like really number one there.
Nice.
I can tell you one fun story because
Do
it's
it.
like
Yeah, let's
I was
have it.
studying. I was studying like when I pull off a lot with skate school and with working a lot with skating. You know, I was one particular summer. I'm not sure which year it was. If it was 2017, it was like blading days here in Copenhagen.
Oh yeah.
Competition, big one. All the pro skaters coming there as well. And my program for that day was waking up super early in the morning, going to do 2-hour workshop with like Copenhagen Skiing Club, like kids from Copenhagen Skiing Club. So I was like doing workshop for them 2 hours. After going to the skate park where we have blade days, I was doing 3 hours workshop in there. So that's the first day. First day I already worked 5 hours. Then we had another job same day. We were like renting out skates to like a roller disco.
Okay.
They have a roller disco event in a place called Christiania. I don't know if you know about this in Copenhagen.
Christiania, yeah.
And they had like a event with roller disco in the evening. And we were like talking to them, like we had to bring all our skates there. So after workshop in Fælleparken in the skate park, after 5 hours work, I drive all the gear to the hall there where we had to have the roller disco in the evening. And I put my friend there to be like, okay, you sort it out with the skates here. I will come back. I'll just go back in Fælleparken in the skate park to win the competition. I was joking with it.
Oh my God.
I was already tired, you know, and I was like, yeah, I'm going to win the competition. And I go into Fælleparken and I park the car. I'm super busy doing all day. I park the car. And while I park to open the door, they're saying my name in the speaker, like, oh, it's the warm up, the qualification. And we have Jacob Juul in the run and blah, blah, blah. And I was skating with these other guys, you know, and I'm like, pull my skates on fast, go warm up, doing my run. Okay, final. Doing my run. Okay, who wins? Jacob Juul. And I was like, at that time, I was winning like 2,000 or 1,000 euros, you know? So it was like...
Not bad, yeah. Thank you very
pocket,
much.
You know, like only cash. I was like, yes, winning, you know? Putting them in the, I remember putting it in my pocket and it was just like, even no time to be like, people come and congratulate me or something. I had no time because I already had my mind was like,
I've got to go. I'm busy.
I had my friend over at the hall, you know, we had to rent out skate. My day is not done, you know, and like taking some friends with me. I remember from the skate shop I was working at that time as well. And there were like one guy on longboard and one guy on scooter, whatever. They were like, you are mad. How did you just win that? And I was like, I don't know. I have no time.
Yeah.
And I was drinking a little bit beers to calm down, you know. So I was like, even like, I drink too much beers to drive, but we have to go, you know. And we're coming to the fucking hall, you know, and I'm coming in, and my friend is there. How did it go? And I have the medal in my hands, be like, I won this, you know. And from winning to be like, open the champagne, going back to work, renting out skates.
Yeah, that is pretty nuts.
That day, I was telling myself and my friend, I'm number one. Nobody else can. Tell me one guy that can go wake up 7 a.m, do 5 hours skate school, go and prepare for workshop like or the blading whatever event, and go win over all the pro skaters and go back and do all the job. In the evening at 12 o'clock in the evening, the girl comes to me from the event of the roller disco and says, I heard you are the champion. Can you please make a show for us? And I was like, no, I cannot anymore.
No, I'm done.
I have no more energy. And in the end, of course, she begged me to do it. And that's when I fall and hurt myself. I've been the whole day, and there 1 o'clock in the night, I fall on the rail. Boom, I had no more energy, you know.
Well, you know, your luck had to run out eventually. So yeah. That is an awesome story. Actually, you've had a lot of awesome stories today. So thank you very much for taking the time to do it. I've taken up enough of your time. I'm going to let you enjoy the rest of your Saturday. Thanks for taking the time to do this. And yeah, it was awesome to speak to you.
Thank you. And thank you for getting out to me, you know. I love to do this, you know.
Anytime, man. Well, enjoy the rest of your weekend. Speak soon.
You too, man. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Hola.